What's up everyone, MeJP2 here, and in today's video we're taking a look at another level 50 Pokemon that got buffed, Eevee. Now Eevee, 5 out of its 6 moves are normal type. So anything that resisted normal simply could beat it, simply because of the fact that Dig was not a good move. But now that Dig has been buffed, Eevee is able to fight back better. This is mainly shown against Bastiodon, because now Eevee can almost beat Bastiodon in even shield scenarios, which is quite crazy. Anyways, I paired it up with Shadow Quagsire because Shadow Quagsire is an absolute beast, and Superior. Now, Superior has access to Aerial Ace, and since Aerial Ace got buffed, Superior is actually quite good now. You'll notice that I don't have Frenzy Plant on Superior, and that is mostly because I didn't want to use an Elite TM, but also because Leaf Tornado can get that ever-important attack debuff. And if it can get the debuff, Eevee can clean up against most Pokemon as long as it doesn't get hit for super effective. Anyways, that's about it. Let's hop into the battles. Hopping into the first battle, we lead Quagsire into Jellicent. Very neutral lead. Quagsire can make it to a Mud Bomb way before Jellicent can make it to a Shadow Ball, but Shadow Ball will hit really hard against Quagsire. So we go for a Mud Bomb, and the opponent throws on alignment. We get a Mud Shot through. If it's a Shadow Ball, it's going to do big damage, and it does. The opponent makes a very nice catch, catching the Mud Bomb on a Jump Bluff. This is triple resisted. It does nothing. And now we have to bring in Superior. Superior is the best answer to a Grass and Flying type, because I don't really have this team made to counter Grass Flying types, unfortunately. The only real good thing I have against it is Aerial Ace. So we're going to go for the Aerial Ace. Then we throw another one on good timing. Still not going to be taking out the Jump Bluff. Jump Bluff is very bulky, but it will do some good damage. We can let this move go through, doesn't matter. It's an Energy Ball. Energy Ball is slightly less expensive than Acrobatics, so that's the right play. We can bring in Eevee. I do throw in alignment. I was thinking this would be a CMP tie because Eevee does win CMP against Jump Bluff. And then the opponent brings in Bastiodon, and we have acquired our target. I throw in alignment, unfortunately. That could cost me later. But Dig does a little bit less than half. And now we catch the Stone Edge onto my Shadow Quagsire. Stone Edge will take out the Quagsire. And now we bring in Eevee. Now the opponent brings in the Jellicent, and we're going to go for an extremely risky bait because Dig wouldn't KO anyways. The opponent then shields the Body Slam, and now we can just shield up this move, and afterwards we're going to go for a Dig. I'm going to go for the Dig, and hopefully the opponent no-shields this. And they do. And now Eevee can actually just commit a shield and farm down. Eevee's going to barely make it to a farm down right before Jellicent would make a move. Now we're going to have to go straight for the Dig, no baits here. We'd make it to a second Dig in time, and the opponent no-shields it. And now we'll be able to make it to back-to-back Body Slams before this Bastiodon actually can make it to another move. We see a Home Slice Henry video pop up, and now Eevee makes it to another Body Slam. And Body Slam will take out the Bastiodon, and that is a good game. Hopping into the next battle, good lead, Shadow Quagsire into Ninetales. Quagsire obviously resists fire and can hit Ninetales for super effective, so we're going to go for a Mud Bomb. Mud Bomb won't take out the Ninetales. Ninetales is a bit bulky, but it'll do huge damage. Opponent goes for a move. This is not a Solar Beam. Quagsire tanks it. We can now farm down, and we'll leave with a good amount of energy. The opponent then brings in Leafeon. We can go for a Stone Edge. This should get a shield because Stone Edge would do a ton of damage, but now they just go for the Leaf Blade straight away. They don't overfarm. I'm fine with this. We can bring in Superior, and Superior should beat Leafeon pretty easily. Superior will lose CMP, but because we have Aerial Ace, this is a very winning matchup for Superior. We can go for the Aerial Ace. Aerial Ace won't take him out, but another one will. So now I can go and farm up, and the opponent goes for a Leaf Blade straight away. Good play. And now I decide to overfarm more, and I do lose CMP against Leafeon, so now I have to shield. I did go for a Leaf Tornado here because of the attack debuff chance in case they shield, but they just look like they're going to save the shield for the last Pokemon, and it's Carracosta. Leaf Tornado would not take out Carracosta because Leaf Tornado is not strong, but it still gets a shield, and we get the debuff. Now Eevee can come in, and now that Eevee has access to a good ground-type move because Dig got buffed, Eevee can win against Carracosta. They go for an Ancient Power, no boost. Now this Dig will do some pretty big damage, and it does huge damage to the Carracosta. We can go for a Body Slam, and Body Slam will be taking out the Carracosta, and we take that game. Hopping into the next battle, we lead Shadow Quagsire into Milotic. This is an interesting lead because Quagsire and Milotic both hit each other for neutral. But we can go for a Mud Bomb on good timing. Mud Bomb will do some nice damage or actually grab a shield. I'm quite surprised by that. Does not look like they should have shielded that. Milotic can easily live that. But now we go for another Mud Bomb. This should do some decent damage. And it puts some just into the yellow. Looks like we're going to get farmed down, so we switch into Superior. The opponent then brings in a Alolan Marowak, but it's running Hex. Now, Aerial Ace, since it hits for neutral, is a decent move to use, but Leaf Tornado is actually a bit better in my opinion, just because of the attack debuff chance. So I'm going to go for it here, and we hit him with it, and we get the attack debuff. That's perfect. I shield up here because I think they're going for a Fire Blast. It looks like they made it to it, but they didn't. And they go for a Bone Club. Now this will go for a Shadow Ball. Shadow Ball does some okay damage, but because of the debuff, it's not going to do too much. We can go for an Aerial Ace. Another Aerial Ace will take him out, and then the opponent switches into a Escavalier. I'm going for a Leaf Tornado here. I know it's double resisted, but I need a debuff because Escavalier crushes Eevee, just if it doesn't have a debuff on it. So this Leaf Tornado, we go for it, and it puts him into a good health range for Eevee to beat, and we get the attack debuff. Eevee will unfortunately lose CMP, and I shield up here. It's a Drill Run. Now I go for a Body Slam. Body Slam will not take out the Escav, but it should do some good damage. They have another Drill Run, though, and this won't take out Eevee because of the debuff, but it still does some nice damage. Now we can actually save a Body Slam and catch on into the Quagsire. Opponent goes for the Drill Run, takes out Quagsire. Now we come in with the Eevee. They don't attack, and now they have my Milotic. We don't get the new mechanic, and it wouldn't have mattered anyway, and we lose that game. Hopping into the next match, Shadow Quagsire into Granbull. This is a bit of a negative lead in my opinion, simply because Granbull can double shield and beat Quagsire. So we're going to go for a Stone Edge. If they don't shield it, they'll get punished, but they do shield it. And now we'll be able to make it to a Mud Bomb, but we're not going to be able to make it to another move, and they can actually let Mud Bomb through if they want, but they just shield it. So now we get both shields, but we're down switch advantage. We can then bring in Superior, and they will throw right before we make it to a Leaf Tornado. And they go for a Play Rough. That's a questionable play in my opinion. They should have gone for Close Combat or Crunch if they had it. We go for a Leaf Tornado, no debuff, but it'll put them in a farm down range. They then bring in a Ninetales. We bring in Eevee, and now Eevee should make it to a Dig. We have to shield this because Eevee would still not do well. They go for a Scorching Sniff, and they get the attack debuff. That's terrible. Now we go for a Dig. The Ampharos, I believe, is going to actually overfarm him a bit, I think. And now we'll make it to a Body Slam, and Body Slam will take out the Ampharos. And now Eevee can actually make it to a Dig. This Dig will do some decent damage. It is debuffed, though. If it wasn't debuffed, it would do a lot more damage. But now we switch into Superior and go for the Aerial Ace. This Aerial Ace still doesn't actually take out the Ninetales, but they're forced to go for a move, and this will mean that they're not at another move. So maybe Eevee can farm down. Can it? No, and the match ends in a tie. Hopping into the next battle, we lead Shadow Quagsire to Talonflame. Pretty good lead because we resist Incinerate, but we have to get land a Stone Edge to actually take out the Talonflame. I don't really approve of baiting too much. I don't do it too much, so I go for the Stone Edge, and it takes out the Talonflame. That is a full Pokemon down, and we actually make it to a Mud Bomb against this Victreebel. Now, Mud Bomb won't do too much damage. Actually, that does a lot of damage. I forgot how glassy Vic is, even though it's non-Shadow. But Superior can come in, make it to an Aerial Ace. Aerial Ace takes out the Vic, and they come in with Bastiodon. And Eevee with Dig is going to destroy this thing. But first, we're going to try and land a couple debuffs on it. We go for a Leaf Tornado, and we get the debuff. And that just secures the win, because they have no way of resetting that debuff. They go for a Flamethrower, not too much damage. We can go for a second Leaf Tornado. Does this one get a debuff too? Yes, it does. And now we can go for another Leaf Tornado. They can't even be debuffed anymore. They're at the limit of debuffs. But now we can bring in Eevee, and the Smackdowns are doing nothing. And they go for a move. I don't even have to shield it. Stone Edge does nothing, and the opponent concedes the match. And that's a good game. Hopping into the next match, neutral lead, Shadow Quagsire into Double. Both Pokemon hit each other for neutral, so there's really no advantage for either Pokemon. Double goes for a Body Slam, Quagsire tanks it. Now we can go for a Mud Bomb after a bit of overfarming. Mud Bomb will not take out the Double, but maybe it gets a shield? Nope. And now we will win CMP with the next Mud Bomb. This will still not take out the Double, unfortunately, but we should be able to farm down if we commit a shield. I commit the shield, and now we can go for a farm down. Double doesn't make it to a move. Now they bring in Pelipper, so we'll be able to get that shield right back with the Stone Edge, because otherwise this Pelipper is gone. We go for the Stone Edge, gets a shield. Now we switch into Superior. I save the Quagsire for potential catch. Now I call the bait. It's a Hurricane. Hurricane one-shots my Superior. And now it's all up to Eevee. The opponent has Medicham in the back, though, and we just concede that match. Hopping into the next match, we lead Shadow Quagsire into Swampert. and we can actually go for a Mud Bomb, but we will lose CMP. The opponent overfarms, though. And now we can go for a Mud Bomb. Mud Bomb does some decent damage, and we switch into Superior, trying to catch, but the opponent has an Alolan Ninetales. And Alolan Ninetales, despite being an Ice type, if we can get a debuff, which we do, Superior can actually flip this if I decide I want to. Opponent goes for a Weather Ball. Not too much damage because of the debuff. And if we get another one, then we should be able to survive the Powder Snows and another Weather Ball. And we get a debuff. So now the opponent, they will outpace us, but this actually doesn't take out Superior. This is why I love Superior. It's bulky with an access to a debuffing move. So now we go for another Leaf Tornado. Opponent lets it go, and just like that, we have switch advantage. Opponent brings in a Lantern. We get farmed down, unfortunately. Now we bring in Shadow Quagsire. Opponent snipes with the Swampert. We'll shield up this Earthquake. Now we can bring in Eevee. Now, Eevee can no shield because Hydro Cannon doesn't take out Eevee. Eevee's still pretty bulky. They go for a Surf, must not have Hydro Cannon. And we can go for a Dig straight into the Lantern. Dig should do some good damage, and now we can just go straight Body Slam if we choose. Eevee does lose CMP to Lantern, unfortunately, so we'll just have to let this go. But now Quagsire can just commit one shield and go to the farm down, because they can just shield 2 Mud Bombs if I go for it. So I'm just going to go for the Mud Shot farm down. Even if they make it into another Surf, which they do, Quagsire can still tank this despite being a Shadow. So we can tank the Surf and farm down, and that's a good game. Hopping into the final battle, we lead Shadow Quagsire into Scrafty. Extremely neutral lead, but I can't switch out because of Eevee being weak. So we'll just go for the Mud Bomb as soon as we get it. It should do some decent damage, and should get the Scrafty right into the yellow health. We will get outpaced to another move, though, and they go for a Foul Play. Quagsire can still tank it, though, and we'll be able to go for another Mud Bomb. No Mud Bomb should get a shield if the opponent wants to switch, and they do, and we switch into Superior. The opponent goes for a move. I'm assuming this is a Foul Play. They will have no reason to bait. So we can just let it go, though, because Superior is tanky. And we can go for a Leaf Tornado. If they shield and we get a debuff, then it's better than the Aerial Ace. And they do. Both of those happen. So going for a Leaf Tornado was actually a better play than going for an Aerial Ace there. The opponent goes for a Foul Play, and I just commit to a farm down. Now I have Superior up energy and up shields. So now they bring in Dragon Breath Charizard, so we can go for the back-to-back Aerial Aces, or we can go for a Leaf Tornado. I'm fishing for a debuff here just to help Eevee out. No debuff, unfortunately, but we can still bring in Eevee, and we'll be able to catch the move. And let's see, was it a Blast Bird? Yes, it was. Perfect. And now Eevee can come in, and I'm looking for a catch here. I'm seeing if they're going to try and catch, but we can just go for a Body Slam, and that'll take out the Charizard. The opponent has a Togetic in the back. And this Togetic looks like it's running Extra Sensory, and that's probably going to win me the game simply because Extra Sensory is not the best move. We're going to have to throw on good timing, though, and we get to another Body Slam. We're really close to a second one, and we make it to another one. Extra Sensory, not too good of a move. They would have had to make it to back-to-back, and they couldn't. That's a good game. Now, some final thoughts on Eevee. I love Eevee. Eevee's one of my favorite Pokemon, so I was really excited when I got a perfect one that I could use in the Great League. So, it does look like it actually has some play because of its bulk and its moveset. Because Quick Attack and Body Slam is really good, and then having access to a Ground-type move is really good as well because it means it has some play against the stuff that originally walled it, mainly Bastiodon. Anyways, that's going to be it for today's video. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.